Hello and welcome to In the World, a monthly look at current events from a Christian perspective. I'm Jaime Snyder. This month's co-host is Liz Carper. Welcome, Liz.
Thank you.
We'll jump right into our first story. This past June 6 marked the 75th anniversary of D-Day and the invasion of Normandy in World War II. The assault itself lasted many weeks. Julius H.O. Henry Piper and Ludwig J.W. Louis Piper were 19-year-old twin brothers who were a part of the operation. On June 19, 1944, however, the ship they were aboard hit a German mine and sank off the coast. Both brothers died. Ludwig was buried in the Normandy American Cemetery along with 9,000 other Americans. Julius, however, wasn't initially identified and was laid to rest in a cemetery for unknown American soldiers in the Ardennes region of Belgium. In 2017, however, Julius's remains were identified and moved to be buried next to his brother in Normandy. On June 19, 2018, 74 years after they passed away together, they were laid to rest side by side. When asked about the significance of the two brothers finally being together, Susan Lawrence, their niece, said, "It means a lot to our family. It's beyond words. I don't even know how to express it in words that they're finally side by side." What a great story and what a great celebration this week of the 75th anniversary, the sacrifices and the stories that, these young men, just brings tears to your eyes, the sacrifices. They were all just kids and,
Right.
The experience was something that you can't really wrap your mind around.
Yes, and watching all of the D-Day celebrations or commemorations on TV, it's just a reminder of what our country has gone through, what we have done to help with the world, with liberation and so forth like that. But I am very fascinated at the fact that in today's society, we can identify remains of over 7 decades ago.
Right.
And just how many more families we're going to be able to reunite in this way.
Right.
It's just impressive to me how far we've come.
And how special it is that he was identified and reunited. I mean,
Right.
think about the hole in those families' hearts, all those years of
Correct.
not knowing
Right.
for sure what happened to their loved one. And so to be reunited, and especially in the special cemetery,
Right.
in Normandy there,
Right.
to really honor their sacrifices. But I think the 75th anniversary this past week was really special. And I hope people took the time to get some perspective, on what happened and why it happened and what's happened since then, like we were talking about in this day and age. But, from a different perspective, there's so many upheavals and terrible things happening in the world and pain caused by people, and
Yes.
this was something that these men, didn't know what they were signing up for, but they still showed up and did their job and sacrificed their lives.
And one of the quotes I heard was, the first wave came in and then the next wave and the next wave. It didn't stop.
Again and again and again.
It just kept going. And that's just a testament to that time of our lives when they had no desire to just, walk away from it.
Right.
They kept going.
Bravery,
they kept
loyalty.
persevering. Yes, exactly.
Definitely perseverance. The sacrifices were incredible, and it was really touching to see the survivors that were there and celebrating,
Right.
and it was a very moving ceremony for sure.
Right. And they seemed to say, and I heard one of them say that, the real heroes were the ones that were buried there.
Right.
The ones that are walking around, yes, they fought the fight, but the ones that were real heroes were the ones
Right.
that were buried in
Absolutely.
that American cemetery.
God bless them, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Should we move on to our next story?
Yes.
All right. So story number 2 is a recent report from a Swedish Christian evangelical organization analyzed 619 asylum requests legally presented to Sweden from Christian refugees out of Afghanistan. The report found that out of those 619 cases, 70% were denied on the grounds that their faith was considered phony and they were sent home, where they will face severe persecution for proclaiming to be a Christian. The report found that as a condition of asylum, the converts had to pass a theological quiz testing how much they knew about Christianity. According to ChristianHeadlines.com, however, some of the questions were unnecessarily difficult. Jacob Rudenstrand, Deputy General Secretary of the Swedish Evangelical Alliance, explained that if an asylum seeker failed the test, he or she will be deported to a country where he or she may be killed. Rudenstrand claimed that the test contained questions which not even experienced pastors have been able to answer. Some examples include, do you know what the Trinity is? What sacraments exist in Christianity? What other traditions apart from Protestantism exist in Christianity? And how many disciples did Jesus have? Frederick Bayer, the chief legal officer of the Swedish Migration Agency, was asked how the agency can judge if a person is a Christian. He replied, "It is almost a philosophical question. I can only say that's our job."
How Christian are you? I'm glad I didn't have to take that pop quiz. I might have gotten a few of them right. That's really distressing to hear that. How Christian are you? You can't measure your love.
Right.
And certainly we've all learned some of these facts and historical teachings throughout the Bible. But my brain is Swiss cheese on the best day, and if I was having to draw upon my memory for some of these deep-reaching questions, I would certainly probably not pass it up myself.
Well, I'm going to say, because, we're plugging for Pastor Jay and Ben and Pastor Chuck here, that the experienced pastors here at Trinity would know the answers.
Absolutely,
to these
of course they would.
Of course they would. We, on the other hand, maybe need a little help with that. But my thing was, you can't, all we've been told is all it takes is a belief in Jesus Christ as our Savior. We don't need to answer a quiz every day. If that was the case, we'd all fail.
Right.
We'd all fail that quiz right from the
We're all failing every day without the love of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, excellent. And thankfully, His blood covers us and washes away all that.
Amen.
And we don't have to understand it.
You don't have to prove it.
We just have to believe it.
That's right.
We just have to go forth and make disciples of the world. So
that's one of the most beautiful things about being a Christian, is that you don't have to prove it to anyone, except yourself and to the Lord. And He knows already, so you don't have to really prove it to Him anyway. Right. So
it's a good thing this test isn't around.
And we are so blessed to be free, to worship our Lord, every week like we like to, and not have to take a quiz to prove our, Christianity. But, I do feel sorry for those that are persecuted, that those have to seek it, and God bless those that actually go out and try to prove it, even though they shouldn't have to.
Right, and the fact that they're running away from whatever situation in their homeland or their home country, and they're trying to seek asylum, only to be sent, maybe not back to their homeland, but to a
somewhere
different country,
right, even more dangerous.
That's going to kill them.
Right.
That's even worse.
Right.
So not only do you have to deal with the persecution that you're leaving, and maybe I just get the wrong answer on a quiz.
Right, because you're
and
petrified.
now I'm going to be sent someplace else that may be a lot worse than what we have.
Definitely.
So, definitely. So thankfully, we don't have to worry about that.
Amen. When Duranice Pace was a child, she was abused. At one time, she was forcibly fed rat poison. The doctors who treated her had cut out half of her vocal cords and told her that she would never talk again. But not only is she talking, she's singing and has dreams of singing on Broadway. Duranice recently appeared on Steve Harvey's syndicated talk show Steve and shared her story. On top of the trauma with her voice, as an adult, she was diagnosed with thyroid cancer and told she had about 3 years to live. That was 11 years ago. When Duranice came on Harvey's show, she sang not just for the host, but to him. She sang, "This is Steve Harvey. He's a good man. He loves the Lord, and he'll give you a helping hand. God's going to bless Steve Harvey. Keep on, keep on. You helped me to live, sir. Keep on. You special." Harvey was visibly shaken up. He told the story of his mother's passing and how, as the youngest child in the family, his father had him tell the doctors to take his mother off life support. He eventually came to terms with it because others told him his mother was ready to go. But he hoped his mother, a devout Christian, was in heaven watching the moment Duranice was on his show. Harvey explained, "The only reason I straightened up and started going right was because I just want to see her. Other than that, I'd still be going to hell like I was." He told Duranice, "You think I'm helping you, but you really helping me. I thank you because this was for me." After the show, Harvey tweeted, "God really wants us to help him, but he requires that we have a relationship with him. If you're out here trying to make it without God, you are making life harder than it needs to be. There is a higher power. There is a God. It's time to get in touch with God."
What a powerful God moment.
I love it.
Oh, that was truly incredible.
Those testaments are always really wonderful to see.
And those are the ones that you get goosebumps.
Yes, ma'am.
Or chills when you start to think about it, or when somebody's telling you that story. I can just imagine the sense of peace he received during that moment, especially when he says that he feels that his mother was watching him.
Definitely.
But to be put in that situation, to be told to tell the doctors, and you don't know what age this was, but to take her off of life support, I couldn't imagine that.
That's really tragic for a child.
I couldn't imagine.
I'm sure he struggled with years.
Right. So for this woman to come in at the exact time, at the exact place, to just bring hope into his life, truly God's hand.
It probably felt like freedom.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
And think about this woman. I mean, what the opposite of the story we were just talking about, people having to prove it. And here she is, loudly speaking the testament and talking about the love of Jesus and how it can save you.
Yeah, and not only has she been through a lot, I mean, rat poison as a child. That cancer. Is just so sad. Then cancer, but she's singing the praises
loudly
of our Lord.
Singing.
I love that.
And I love the statement that Harvey tweeted. He said, if you're out here trying to make it without God, you're making life harder than it needs to be.
Most definitely. And so many of us can learn that lesson. If
every day.
Just focus on God and focus on what he brings to us in our lives.
And let him lead.
Most definitely.
Let him lead.
And someone with control issues,
right,
that's a hard thing.
I agree. I mean, that's so hard. Jesus, take the wheel, to let go and
right.
let God.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for paying attention to us. This has been In the World. We are broadcasting on second Wednesday of every month. And we invite you to like our Trinity channel. If you do, there's a thumbs up. I know Ken talks about that all the time. We'd love to have more subscribers to our channel. You can do that as well. I'm Liz Carper. This is Jaime Snyder. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. God bless.